Thanks everybody for all making it all the way to the end of this video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, all done filming the talking portion of this video. And something I want to show you guys is, let's go inside. My mother-in-law has something fantastic planned for this morning. Those are caramel rolls. I say caramel, but everyone here says caramel rolls. And they are basically dinner rolls that have been allowed to, frozen dinner rolls that are unproofed. And she lets them proof overnight, like at room temperature, with I think sugar and like butterscotch pudding mix on top. You bake them the following morning, and they're just absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait to have it. It's gonna be a beautiful morning. But first I gotta finish cleaning up all this stuff over here. Here's all like what it looks like when I'm filming, at least with the GoPro, for the talking portions of the videos. That's my tripod, my little B-roll roller skate, and my notes and microphone, which died during the last filming, which it's fine. It's not too windy today, so hopefully it'll work. Phone, and yeah, so let's get this all cleaned up and then we'll head inside. All right, so we're in the following day now. I actually just took a shower, got back from a quick run, but the footage you just saw was just some general vlogging footage from what things are like around here. And I wanted to do that in order to show you how this quick swap accessory from Ulanzi works with GoPros. Now, I'm actually not gonna go anywhere, but I just wanna show you how quick it is to switch from this selfie stick to now a car mount using this quick swap GoPro attachment. It's been pretty amazing. I didn't think it would work, and I didn't think I would like it. I'm still not sure I'm going to use it every day, but for certain situations it works out really, really well. I used it all day in terms of the vlogging footage, switching between, I have a little stubby handheld mount that I would put the GoPro on versus you saw in the beginning of the footage when I was on my little mini tripod or the roller skate that has another one of these quick mounts on. So you just, the way it works is, I have one here that has my Insta360 on it. It's a different kind of mount on the bottom where there's like these little interlocking pieces plus a magnet, which is nice. And there's a magnet on this side too. And you've got two pieces. And so instead of like screwing it in every time, it stays screwed in, but it just goes in and it locks in tight. And because of the magnets, this doesn't shake around. So as I went from the tripod for the set shot to the handheld for all that GoPro, for all that vlogging footage that you saw. It was just a matter of keeping the camera rolling and swapping from one mount to the other, which was pretty convenient. And not that you have to keep the shot running the entire time, but I think that one of the things that you can certainly do with it is then be able to move from one shot to another quickly. So if you've got like a car mount in your car and you know you're going to always have that, you don't have to bring the camera, it's like screw it in every time and get the shot set up. You can just come in, boom, the camera sits right into the mount and you're good to go. So anytime where you need to move quickly or just don't want to spend a lot of time like fiddling around with thumb screws, I think that this is a great product to have. The ideal use case for me was when I was filming action footage, because after all, these are action cameras. And what I did was, for the run of the Heritage Trail, I had this mount on the end of my selfie stick. And so when I wanted to switch different camera shot types that I had, I just had to switch this off. I had a pocket in my vest that I could tuck the camera in, and then I would switch off and take this off and then put it right on to the selfie stick. And then when I was done, I would turn off the camera, put this one away, and then put this one back on and run with it that way. And so I could pick and choose which kind of camera shot I wanted. I didn't have just one type of camera with me. I've also done a thing where, like, on the back of some of these selfie sticks, there's a 1/4 mount. So I've done like a dual lightsaber kind of thing before. With the GoPro and the Insta360, that would have been pretty heavy. I'm not sure if it's prohibitively heavy, but it was heavy enough that I was thinking, I'll just pick one camera and use the one camera for the entire time. And I probably could have gotten away with that, but I did like having the flexibility of 2 different types of cameras to work with. Now, the thing to keep in mind though is, because of the magnets that are in here that are pretty strong, and by the way, you can use this to stick this onto anything that's metal. So you get a little bit of extra flexibility with that this way. So that way, if you're like in a gym, you can definitely use this just to put it like on a weight rack and then have the camera, turn the camera to flip it up so that way it can see you. So there's some weight to this that's in here, and there's some weight to this part too, because there's another magnet, I think, inside this part, or a piece of metal inside this part. And when you have it on the end of a stick that's extended, it does get a lot heavier. So if you're already worried about weight, I would say maybe try it out, see if you can run with it. But for me, at the paces that I was running for a 30-mile run, it was manageable for sure. And certainly a lot more manageable than putting 2 cameras on the end of a longer selfie stick like this, because that would have just been a little bit more awkward to run around with. I found myself like frequently just running around with it like this. This was like a nice center of gravity point for me in order to use the cameras this way. And then I was also able to just quickly swap out one camera for the other and put it in. So that made it pretty nice that I was able to do that and just get the mounts without having to worry about stopping and fiddling around with stuff, so that I could film the run. So overall, I think like each set is about like 16 bucks, I think, which feels a little bit expensive. And I needed to get a different set for each like camera that I wanted to put on here. It allowed for multiple different like mounting locations, so that was nice. So I was able to, with one set, have it so I could put it on my selfie stick and then move the GoPro really quickly to, like, say another camera angle like this. But if I wanted to do 2 cameras, which I think is probably the most compelling use case, because that's when I think that like the fast swapping is really important. If you have one selfie stick you want to use and 2 cameras, then I think you're going to need 2 sets of those. That's what I would recommend if you're interested in looking at something like this. Here's that stubby that I was talking about, where I would just have it on the end of this guy. So then I was holding it like this. So most of the footage that you saw from the vlogging was just handheld using this thing. It adds a little bit of length, so that was actually kind of nice for this handheld, which is usually a little bit small. This is like a backpack clip mount, has an alligator clip on it. One of my favorites. These are like $5 or $6. I have many of these because I just consider them essentially disposable. But with this little mount on it, I think it becomes a little bit more valuable and a little bit more useful because I have just a lot more mounting options. So it's been useful because I always feel like this GoPro bolt seems like a very crude way of solving a problem of how to mount something. And it makes sense to me when the earliest GoPros were essentially like little digital cameras inside a waterproof case, and you didn't want to have to put that waterproof case on a 1/4-20 mount. So what did they do? They figured they jury-rigged like a solution to be able to mount like a regular camera inside a plastic case. But now with the GoPros being waterproof, you don't need a case for them. I feel like the argument for the GoPro Bolt is less compelling. This is kind of like a really nice kind of like workaround, although it makes it a lot more bulky. So if like ultimate slimness is your goal, maybe this isn't gonna do it for you. But for me, I just don't like having to fiddle around with all these bolts all the time. So I actually like this. And I think that I'm probably gonna switch back to just the regular GoPro Bolt because of the weight issue. On most of my runs, I only need one camera. But for any big runs, any adventures where I'm gonna be switching between, like maybe I'm vlogging and I'm going from handheld to car mount, or I'm going from handheld to set shot quickly, and I wanna be able to do that, that's where I think it works. Or if I have a situation where I have two cameras that I wanna swap back and forth on the same stick, that's where it makes a lot of sense. So like a lot of GoPro accessories, it's not gonna be something you use every single day, but for that specific type of activity where you need a very specific type of tool, I think this really does the job. I'm really surprised by this. I like totally didn't think that this was gonna work, and I totally didn't think I was gonna like it because of the weight, but it's kind of worth it. So if you have any questions about the Ulanzi quick swap GoPro mounts, put them in the comments down below. I'd love to keep the conversation going down there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?